And it stopped. That's a song called The Hills by a band called Riot. I like that particular number because the guy playing guitar plays like I do. Fact, not bragging. Well, this is November 4th. Right now it's 12:41 in the afternoon. I got a late start today. We had to go buy a chicken feed because my wife has chickens. Right now, she brought me my coffee. She's in the house taking a nap. My lovely granddaughter and grandsons are in there. And then when Linda's up from a nap and after I've got the podcast done and all this other stuff I got to do, then I will take them and they will have some fun. We did yesterday. This is the day after Election Day, and at this time in the afternoon there's still no quote-unquote clear winner. I'm going to tell you what's going on. It's like in the state of Michigan, they find 140,000 ballots that they didn't know were there, and miraculously, all of them voted for Joseph Biden. They are desperate to keep Donald Trump from winning re-election. Why? Because he has been and will continue to put a stop to all the crap that the Democrats and the libtards are pulling. I lost a few friends yesterday. Yeah, I noticed on Facebook that I said anybody voting for Donald Trump or for Joseph Biden is stupid, and that I shouldn't have said that. It doesn't make them a stupid individual. It makes them mistaken. There's a big difference between stupidity and being mistaken. There are a lot of people that vote Democrat because mommy and daddy were Democrat, grandma and grandpa were Democrat, and it's long been a fable, and I do mean fable, a story, that the Democrats are for the little guy. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Democrats are about suppressing and pushing down minorities, enriching themselves. They've done nothing for the little guy, even though they say they do. You have to look at the voting record, not what someone says. You can go online now. Used to, if you wanted to see a candidate or an official's voting record, you had to go to the courthouse. No longer. You can do it on the internet. You've been able to do it on the internet since 1981, 1982, somewhere thereabouts. Really strongly could do it 1990 or thereabouts. The internet was in its infancy back then, but it still gave you access to information most people couldn't believe. And that's one of the things that has created a problem. The early 2000s, between 2000 and 2012, many folks in sociology and many folks that study the human condition refer to that as the information age. Why? Because there was an explosion of access to the internet got a lot faster, and a lot of places were then accessible which weren't before. And therein lies a problem. What is the problem? Pandora was let out of the box, number one. People weren't quite as ignorant as they were prior to that period, that decade and a couple of years. But the real main problem is this. So much misinformation, and I'll just call it what it is, outright lies, character assassination, slander, were put out on the web as if they were fact. I'm going to be real blunt about something that a lot of people will take exception to, that there are hardly any actual journalists out there anymore. They teach it in college, but now journalism consists of creating your own story and slanting it to your actual concept rather than just reporting the facts. The fact checkers that are being used these days are folks that are on the Democrat payroll. You might not believe that, but that's true. It is going to get uglier before it gets better. What do I mean by that? It's real simple. The truth of the matter is Donald Trump won the election. He's still winning the election. But the Democratic Party, they're going to throw every monkey wrench they can into it to sidetrack him and keep him from remaining in office. Why? Because if he remains in office, folks, there are some folks that are either going to go to prison or they're going to be executed. That is a fact. Well, how can I say that? Because I have connections you don't have in the intelligence community. That too is a fact. I've had people cast aspersions on my character and say I don't have the background I say I have. I don't have the education I say I have. I don't know the people I say I know. They were wrong. Absolutely wrong. I am a chronic, and I mean absolutely chronic, overachiever. I never used to sleep. I don't sleep well now, but I would sleep. I would lay down 2 or 3 hours a night. The rest of the time I was working, or I was studying, or I was doing things to better the plight of my family and myself. My family was there while I was doing it. I have a friend, he's like one of my kids, his name's Dale Fullerton. I've talked about him on this channel before. He went all the way through a career in law enforcement, working and going to college at the same time. I did the same thing. I carried it a little further than he did, but it's a mark of who he is and who I am. We're very similar in a lot of ways. He's got no back pedal. I'm old and crippled, but I've got no backup in me. I'm not someone, anybody, even at my advanced age and in my physical condition, I'm not someone who an individual wants to pick a fight with. Whether it's physical or whether it's intellectual, you don't want to do that. I'm not bragging when I say that. I have tools you don't have at my disposal, including intellectually. I still have a razor-sharp mind. It's like a steel trap with no rust, and it's well oiled. My body might be broken down, but my ability to think has not broken down. And there is a pecan hitting something, probably the trash can that way outside. There's a corner right there that is a corner. Now I'll just show you. Oops. You see that door jamb right there, and there's my wooden filing cabinet, okay? About 6 inches past cattywampus to that corner, you're outside, and there's a little area there, and there's a end table that needs to be removed. It's collecting germs and dirt and all that, and there's a metal trash can. So I think that boom was pecan or a limb falling and hitting that trash can, because there's nothing in the trash can, and it's basically a steel drum. Got to get a drink. I fear for our country. I really do. I have a lot of friends that are my age, a little younger, some a little older, that have been around long enough. They understand that which I'm saying. Our country is in for a really rough ride. That's not rain you hear. Again, that is stuff falling out of a huge pecan tree and hitting my metal roof over my head right now. I'm surprised the roosters haven't gone off. Later this afternoon, I will take my wife and my grandkids for a ride, and they'll go to a creek that is owned by my Bubba, Jerry. They were down there yesterday. I didn't film them going and walking today. I will, but it won't be posted today. It will be posted probably tomorrow. A lot I've got to do tomorrow. It's going to be scary, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. Oldsters like me, we've been there, done that. We're not afraid of anything usually. But my sweetheart last night, I held her hand and we prayed. It really upset her, everything going on. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And the grizzly bear in me comes out when anybody threatens her in any way. But that's a threat I couldn't put aside last night. I couldn't shove it out of the way. The only thing we could do is pray. What was she upset about? The possibility that Joseph Biden becomes president. It will be far worse than anybody would suspect. And yet people voted for him because they think he's just neat. Well, that's the program for today. I encourage you, and Alf over there in the corner, he encourages you to be kind. It doesn't cost anything. Be kind and courteous. I love you. God bless you, and I'll do this again tomorrow.